Hi guys, Vuno here and welcome to this Vuno Plonk production, and in this video I'm going to be giving my thoughts and opinions on Supernatural Season 2. Now it has taken me longer than it took me to watch Season 1 to watch Season 2. Also, I would give the caveat that I'm also 5 episodes into Season 3, so if I somehow get confused between the end of Season 2 and the start of Season 3, I do apologise. I will also say at the outset of this video there's going to be spoilers for the end of Season 2. I don't think I can talk about some of the aspects of Season 2 that I want to without going into spoiler territory. So if you don't want to know spoilers, or haven't seen the show, you'd rather see it or anything like that, then, you know, tune off and then come back maybe when you've seen it. But if you don't care about spoilers, and they are quite major spoilers, one thing I will say though is what happens at the end of Season 2 sets up the rest of Supernatural. I've done a bit of forward reading on the Supernatural wiki and stuff like that, and basically what happens at the end of Season 2 sets up for essentially the rest of Supernatural, the next, 13 season run. Anyway, I do have a drink with me to wet my whistle, which I'm about to go and do. I suggest you do the same. Grab yourself a beverage. Maybe grab yourself something to eat, whatever you wish to do. Before we do get into the main meat and potato of this video, please hit the subscribe button. It's big, it's red, it's free. Do it. If your feelings are maybe a little more complicated than wanting to subscribe, you can hit the like or the dislike button. They both work pretty damn well. You can also leave a comment down below. All of those different things help the channel immensely, and I thank you everybody that's been doing it recently. Thank you also to people for the kind comments about the new camera, the new sound, and all the different things that have been going on recently. It really is appreciated. So I do have the complete Supernatural set with me here. I'm just going to try and position it here. It kind of works, but what I'm actually going to do, since I have the complete collection now, funny enough, I don't actually watch it by watching it through this. I watch it through Amazon Prime. The complete Supernatural collection is on Amazon Prime right now, and that's how I'm personally choosing to enjoy Supernatural for several reasons. For some reason, these Blu-rays are really quiet on my personal setup. I'm not quite sure why, but it's a bit of a weird thing, that one. So let's look. Season 2. Yes, I'm just reacquainting myself with some of the episodes of Season 2. So, the main thing I want to say about Season 2 versus Season 1. So I really liked Season 1. I really liked Season 1. The Monster of the Week, or rather the Urban Legend of the Week, or Known Myth or Legend of the Week format the show took during Season 1, I loved a bit. I loved the fact they showed off Bloody Mary. I loved the fact they showed off the Hooked Man. They showed they kind of referenced alligators in the sewer. All those different urban legends exist. They met the Wendigo, or Wendigo, whatever it is. That was in the first season. All those well-known urban legends and cryptids that we all know were in there, basically, bar maybe Bigfoot or a Chupacabra, maybe one of the more bigger ones. But they even talk about some other well-known cryptids in the first season, and I really loved that kind of style. When it comes to the second season, they definitely upped the ante. And what I mean by that is, if you know the end of the first season, the spoilers for the end of the first season, but if you're watching a Season 2 overview of a show, I suspect you should have watched the end of the first season. At the end of the first season, some shit goes down, basically. Some stuff goes down, you learn about some stuff. And in fact, within the first 2 episodes, is the first 2 episodes of the second season? Yeah, it is the first 2 episodes of the second season. A sacrifice is made. So, Sam and Dean's father decides to take a sacrifice. Basically, not only does he sacrifice himself, but he sacrifices what's called the Colt. So the Colt is a demon killing revolver made by Samuel Colt, who you find out is actually a demon slaying, gun making badass in the supernatural world. Hey, that's pretty cool if you ask me. More on him later. So you find out that Samuel Colt is a far bigger person than you thought he was in the real world, in the non-fantasy supernatural world, and their father decides to make a sacrifice that the entirety of the second season plays on Dean. It really does play on Dean in several parts, and their dad basically leaves a dying wish with Dean to protect Sam. So Sam also really does grow in this season. So throughout the first season, we get glimpses of Sam's powers. Sam starts getting abilities. He starts getting the ability to foresee events that are about to transpire. Sometimes he gets the vision as they happen. Sometimes he gets it before it happens, as in a couple days before it happens. Sometimes in the second season, he really does grow into what that means, because there's been many different hints made as to what that basically means. The big bad of both season 1 and season 2 is the yellow-eyed demon known as Azazel. Now, at this point in the show, he's not called Azazel. He's called the yellow-eyed demon. I know he's Azazel because I looked him up, and plus in X-Ray, Amazon Video X-Ray, they called him Azazel. So I'm sorry if that's a spoiler for later on in Supernatural, but that's who he is. He is kind of in the background for a lot of this season. Also, there is another demon called Meg, who does play another role in the second season. I really love the episode involving Meg in the second series. I don't know why I'm being all secretive over what happened. She possesses Sam Winchester. Really good episode. What I like about the second season is there are a lot of episodes in which start off kind of mysterious, like the episode where Meg has possessed Sam. Dean finds Sam in a distant town or city somewhere, basically bloody, doesn't have any memory of what's happened, and essentially Meg's gone on a killing spree of some local hunters, and Dean thinks Sam's killed those hunters. Sam thinks he's killed those hunters because CCTV footage proves he's killed those hunters, and it's just basically Meg biding her time before she reveals herself. The acting, my god, the acting in the second series takes a step way up. Both Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki's acting in this season is almost impeccable, and I've been told by people that it gets even better than what's in this season. The acting is absolutely phenomenal. How Sam, Jared Padalecki plays the fact that Sam is possessed by Meg and slowly but surely starts to reveal what's happening. That acting is so good. I could be here forever talking about the acting in this series. I'm actually just looking at some of the episodes that are standout episodes for me. The end. The ending. I have to talk about the ending. For me, the ending did feel a little tacked on. Just a smidge tacked on. Like you don't see the yellow-eyed demon for a lot of the series, and all of a sudden he pops up at the end and also gets killed at the end. Spoilers, but yeah, that happens. Basically, they get back hold of the cult through events that transpire, and then Dean finally uses the cult to destroy or kill Azazel, because the cult is the only weapon that we know of at that moment in time in the show that can kill a demon. Essentially. So Dean, with the help of their father, who manages to escape from hell, more on that in a moment, uses the cult to finally get rid of Azazel. Now, what happens at the end of season 2 is that, as I almost dropped the episode synopsis, we'll leave it there. What happens at the end of season 2 is basically Azazel manages to trick one of the gifted people, and we find out throughout the throughout season 1 and season 2 for that matter, there are more gifted people other than just Sam. And Azazel manages to trick one of those gifted individuals into unlocking a gate to hell, a devil's door, as it's called. This is what I mean by, this sets up the rest of Supernatural. And I will say, the start of season 3, oh my god, I think I'm going to love season 3 and beyond so much. Because I've watched the first 5 episodes or so, maybe a bit less, of season 3, and my god, the stakes are far higher than they ever were. They were facing, spirits with a vengeance. They were facing spirits that haven't yet moved on to a higher plane, or whatever you want to call it. Yet in season 3, straight away, they're dealing with demons. Straight away. There's no, oh, we need to get used to the fact that, they've just opened a gate to hell and 200 odd demons have escaped from the pits of hell. No, we're straight in this, and one of the first episodes of the second series, they deal with the 7 deadly sins who have been trapped away for half a millennia. So they've got they just want to have fun. And that's the other thing I like about the start of season 3, sort of peering into season 3 a bit, is we actually find out that some demons aren't necessarily there to wreak havoc. They're just there to have fun. Some people play golf to have fun. Some people play poker. Some people go for a nice fish on the ocean side or the river lake side. Some demons just want to see someone drink bleach until they die. Anyway, that's getting to spoilers of season 3 territory, but season 3 starts off with a bang because season 2 ends with kind of a bang. So basically they find out towards the end of season 2 that Samuel Colt has built a railroad pentagram in order to keep something locked inside. So this railroad pentagram prevents any full-blooded demon from crossing that pentagram, essentially. So Samuel Colt has there were many churches in southern Wyoming, and he basically has built a secret train line from each of those churches, making a pentagram, thus basically making it so no full-blooded demon can cross those tracks. They are sealed out of it. They can't get behind it. However, they need someone to get into there to unlock this door to let out all the demons from inside, and they can break the pentagram, and then all hell breaks loose, literally. It turns out the cult that I just spoke about was the key to the door to let everybody out. Now, as I said, I've read forward a little bit, and these are major spoilers for the rest of Supernatural, so I'm not going to talk about them overtly here. But that event at the end of season 2 sets up for the rest of Supernatural. The Roadhouse, which is of course Ellen's bar, has gone up in smokes. I'm not sure what happens to that. I've forgotten his name, but the guy who Jim Beaver plays, he's in a lot of especially the latter part of season 2. Bobby, that's in Bobby. Love Bobby, really do. Like Bobby. Deacon shows up. The episode with Deacon was really well done, where they get locked into a penitentiary. That was a really kind of creepy episode. There were just some bangers, just straight up bangers, left, right and centre when it comes to the end of season 2 and into season 3. To be honest, they take that momentum and they keep going with it, and I'm really looking forward to where Supernatural goes from here. I have to talk about episode 17 of season 2. It's such a heartbreaking episode. So throughout the running time of Supernatural up until that point, Dean has had his fair share of booty calls, has had his fair share of romances here and there, because that's the character of Dean. He's a bit of a Kirk. Sam hasn't. Sam hasn't really gone after many people because he's still grieving over the loss of his girlfriend Jessica. Of course, Jessica was killed after the first episode of the first series, and they're still trying to get to the bottom of what happened to her, but they are slowly unraveling what's going on. They finally get to, I think it is actually Minnesota, if I do remember correctly, which is a prominent state for me anyway, and they get to, I want to say it's Minnesota, it may not be, anyway, they get to this state, and they Sam finds a really intelligent woman that he basically, the episode gives indication that he's gonna settle down with. However, it turns out she's a werewolf, and at the end of the episode, because there's no cure for werewolfism, that Sam has to literally put her down like a dog. Now, if you go into some of the behind the scenes stuff about that, both Jared Padalecki and Dean Jensen Ackles really act their socks off at the end of that episode, and it's such a heartbreaking episode. There are so many more heartbreaking episodes of season 2, like when Dean gets sent to an alternate dimension, air quotes, where they never went hunting, that their dad was on a softball team, died of a stroke while in his sleep. Sam actually gets engaged to Jessica. Dean is with a lovely girl called Carmen. The problem with it is Dean begins to, unravel that it's not real, that it's all in his head, created by a evil genie called a Djinn. And he finds out he's actually tied up somewhere in some abandoned warehouse type thing, being drained of his blood, because that's how a Djinn gets its life force. Yeah, and that's a banger of episode, heartbreaking as well. Again, the acting from both Jensen and Jared is just phenomenal in more ways than one, and I'm really enjoying where it's going. I've already introduced some interesting characters in the third season, and just the show just keeps going from strength to strength. That episode was a really good one, which is called Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things, I do believe. Yeah. Oh, Playthings, that was a really good episode too. I could go on and on about all the different things. Yeah, Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. Crossroad Blues. Oh, there was so many good episodes in the second season. I could be here forever, but I'm going to slow down now, I think. But there are so many good episodes. Yeah, Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. Fantastic. Where that girl there is brought back from the dead, and turns out she's a bit more psycho than she was when she was alive. It goes into the whole, you shouldn't play with things you don't understand kind of philosophy. But fantastic season, and I just really am looking forward to where it's going. I know that in the third season onwards, we start getting introduced to some of the bigger characters, some of the more major protagonists and antagonists of the series. So I'm really looking forward to that. Yes, this review, this opinion, we're kind of all over the place, but me, I don't typically do structured reviews per se. I just give my thoughts and opinions how they come out, and that's my thoughts and opinions on Supernatural Season 2. As I said at the start of the video, please subscribe, like, dislike, comment, whatever you feel like doing. It really does help the channel. And until next time, guys, please take care, and as always, enjoy the rest of your day. Ta-ra.